Today we're going to create an abstract art piece using Pebeo's line of pebeo resins. Here are 3 nice pieces of pieces completed using the resins. The resins are available in 3 different finishes: a crystal resin, 5 transparent colors, and 3 pearlescent colors, including 2 metallics and 1 pearl. Today we're going to create a beautiful art piece using Pebeo's liquid art panel board, and it was created specifically for use with liquid acrylics, resins, fantasy specialty paints from Pebeo, and any other liquid art product that you would choose to use. So today we're going to begin by using the liquid art panel, and as you notice, there is a 3mm lip created around the perimeter of the piece. It's 3mm deep and it is 3mm wide around the edge. We're going to begin by choosing a few colors from the Pebeo line of resins. The first one is the crystal resin. The resin comes in 2 parts. There's a hardener and the resin. You create it by mixing very well, 1 part hardener and 2 parts resin. It's best to mix very, very well. You want to mix for several minutes in 1 jar. Maybe pour it into a second jar or plastic cup. And then, once you've completed the mixing process, you're ready to start applying it to the board. We've already applied the first, which is the crystal resin. Now we're going to apply the amber color. Again, it's a good idea to mix and make sure you've got the color completely homogeneous throughout. As long as it's homogeneous, then you will not have any bubbles. We're forming concentric circles right now by applying color within the clear. You'll notice that the color will continue, it will move on the board. The colors will begin to level out and spread upon application. What we have done in advance of creating this piece is we have made sure that the piece is level on the table. We were careful to use an actual level. And if any of the edges were not even, we placed a little coin under the edges to level them out. It's very important because you'll notice that the colors will start to run if it's not completely level. The next thing that we're going to do is apply a 3rd color selection. And just to be sure, we're going to add a little bit underneath. You'll see that we weren't completely level, so now we've used a little bit of a stick to level it out. And now we're going to add the ruby color. Again, with the concentric circles, we're applying within the existing circles that have now moved. Continue to move across the board. You can pour as much as you'd like. You do want to be careful not to overflow on the edges. So you may want to take your time. Be sure that you're applying it very carefully. Once again, be sure to mix very, very well the resin. These resins we pre-mixed in advance, but I will point out that they can probably sit. The open time may be up to an hour or a little bit longer. The colors will begin to thicken over time, so if you would prefer that the color you want to control it more, then you want to allow it to get thicker and wait a little longer before applying it. So you'll notice when we put in the next color, we're putting a blue on top of the red, and as time goes by, the colors will combine and they'll mix and they'll blend, and we're going to get a beautiful kind of a purple shade as well. For optimal results, we're going to allow this to rest in this position for 24 hours. After 12 hours, this resin should be fairly hard and dry to the touch, but we, just to be sure, leave it here for about 24 hours, and even longer if you just have the opportunity to, until it's hard enough to pack, to move around. You really don't want to apply any pressure to it until after 24 hours. This final color that we're applying is one of from the pearlescent family of colors. There are 3 pearlescent colors. This is the gold, and this will be applied again within the circles that are existing. But it's a nice idea to use an eyedropper to apply the color. You can control it again a little better if you've allowed the color to sit a little bit longer. The pearlescent colors are a little bit thicker in viscosity, and therefore there is a little more control with these colors. But again, these colors will continue to move and morph over time, and over a period of 6 to 10 hours, it will surprisingly change and create a new and exciting design. The nice thing about the metallics and the pearlescent colors is that you can come in kind of after you've created your original design and drop in veining, highlighting, different aspects to your piece. Now, if we leave this piece as it is to allow it to dry, it will continue to move and morph. The colors will combine, blend, and create new and exciting designs. You might see that there's some striations that are occurring in the lower level between the ruby and the amber color, creating a nice orange tone. The blue is mixing in with the amber, again the yellow shade, and creating some greens. Now you'll notice what we're doing here is that we've decided to move the colors around, and you'll see that then you can control and create different designs. But if you choose to leave it just stationary, again, it will move on its own. You do have to be careful if you decide to do this, because as you can see, sometimes colors will drip off the edge, and that's no problem. You just come in with a paper towel and clean up, and you can still work with it within about the first 6 hours or so. Sometimes artists will decide to use a toothpick or another tool to go in and create striations or designs within the resin, but at this point we're going to leave it as it is and allow it to continue to move and morph on its own. You'll notice that these colors are blending on the board. If we choose to, we could create new colors before we've decided to apply them. And as you'll notice here on the side, we have a combination of colors that you can see from the existing transparent colors. We have a range of transparent colors that you can create by combining the colors, and you can go from a range of yellow through the orange family and the reds, lavenders, blues, greens. You can get a very nice selection of colors, and when you decide to add the pearl colors as well, you'll notice that the pearlescent colors have opacity, and therefore you can create a range of colors in opaque, metallic, and pearlescent. So the possibilities within the range are endless to create any color imaginable, either before you have designed your piece or as you're creating it. The crystal clear resin is nice to use to come in after you've created, to add a little bit of dimension, create some interesting areas within your piece. You'll notice here that when we're dropping in the crystal clear, it's removing the color, and particularly the pearl colors will form a little perimeter or a rim around the edge. Again, giving you those concentric circles designs that we've mentioned. Once you have completed, and if you've decided you've finalized your artwork, this piece will continue to change over time, and you'll notice that it will morph again over a period of 6 hours. But the best idea is once you are ready to leave your piece, you want to create a tent, maybe put a piece of cardboard over your piece to be sure that no dust or debris are going to settle in the piece. If in fact some dust or debris does settle, you can go back in with a little tweezers or a toothpick and pull it out if it's within that 6 to 12 hour range. You do want to be very careful not to get anything in it. Once it is completely dry, in fact, it is very dry and very hard. You can actually take the piece, it's hard, you can see when we knock on it how hard it dries to a nice glossy, shiny, beautiful finish. You can create amazing, amazing pieces with spectacular finishes, combining these pieces in any imaginable way possible. All of these products are available through Pebeo. We get our pieces at any local art store or online. I think you'll be pleased with the results that you get from any of these. Have fun and good luck working with the pebeo resins.